And I thought to myself, I got so tired of all the stuff with the mayonnaise. You put in a container, you take it someplace, you got to worry about the sunshine and all that. You leave it on the table too long. This, no mayonnaise, and it's a great thing. And if you don't like green beans, don't worry. They're not the green beans you had when you went to the school cafeteria. Remember those little brown pieces of rope that taste like slimy little pieces of string? No longer, my friends. We are just, what we're doing with these beans right now is we're going to take a bean, and we just clip off this little top. Let's see, I'll get down in here. There you go, now you can see it. This little top, all you do is pull it off and set the bean aside. Just pull it off and set the bean aside. So you're gonna do that with 1.5 pounds of beans. And then when you get the 1.5 pounds all done, you're gonna boil some salted water, and you're gonna drop the beans in there for 8 minutes. 8 minutes, that's all we're gonna cook. So now we're gonna need a dressing for this thing, right? So this dressing, I really think this is pretty cool. We're gonna start with some mint. So I got mint here, and we're gonna need about 1/2 cup of mint for this, about 1.5 pounds of green beans. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put half of this mint in a dressing that we're gonna make for it. And I gotta tell you what, I've got a mint plant in my backyard. If you ever decide to do that, surround it with bricks or stone or something, because when that baby takes off, it'll take over the yard. But it's nice to have if you have one in the yard, because once in a while, you cut the mint, bring it in. It smells so great, it's unbelievable. Okay, so to make this dressing, I've got a little mint here. So I'm looking for 1/2 cup. This is a little bit less than that, but I'm gonna take half of that, and I'm gonna put it in 3/4 cup of olive oil. So yes, I was at the olive scene. I saw the girls. I got some good olive oil. So we're gonna put about 1/4 cup of mint in there. We're gonna put in 2 tablespoons of shallot. And shallot is sort of like onion, but better, sort of like garlic, but smoother. They look like this for those of you who have never went to the store and bought a shallot. And you'll be surprised, they're sort of expensive, these little rascals, but it's sort of the secret that restaurants use to make things taste great. So we've got a couple tablespoons in there. I'm gonna save this mint to the side and bring this garlic into the game. Check my timer. Oh yeah, we're 40 seconds away on the beans, so that's good. Should give us some time to chop up some garlic. So we got 3/4 cup of olive oil in there, 2 tablespoons of shallot, 1/4 cup of mint. We're gonna do 3 cloves of garlic chopped up. No fingers included, please. And when you make this dressing, what you wanna do is you wanna make this dressing at least an hour before you start to put it on the beans and stuff, because you want to marinate. I made another version of this, same ingredients, but I did it last night, so the dressing really had a nice time to marinate. So that mint comes into play. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we'll take that, we'll drop that in there. And no, we're not finished, it's more than that. 3 cloves of garlic. Oh, I hear bells. It's my timer. It says my beans have been in there 8 minutes. Now you want them in there 8 minutes because when you put them in there for 8 minutes, they get cooked, but they're still a little crisp and nice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn them off, turn off my beans, and I've got over here a big bowl, and it's got ice in it and a colander. So what you wanna do is you wanna take these beans directly from the pot. Now if I was at home, I'd do it in the sink with the colander in the sink and then drop them in the ice water. But here, you have to be inventive, but cooking in the kitchen can be inventive. There you go. So there come the beans. Very good, huh? So those beans are gonna chill down. Let's see, what are we gonna use to push those in there? We'll use some tongers. Okay, we got them going like that, right? And we're gonna let them cool down. See the ice on the outside of that bowl? This is the big bowl, is the bowl I bought in Amherst at that little antique store there. It's about a $50 bowl. I got it for $10, I think. It was very exciting. Made Amherst one of my favorite places. That in Cole's Public House. Okay, so the beans are chilling down a little bit, and we're gonna go back over here a little bit and put in half a teaspoon of salt. And you can use kosher salt, but I use this salt, I'll bring it into play here. I got this over at the Olive Scene too. It's Italian, it's sea salt, and it's real fine, and it dissolves a little faster than kosher salt, so I like that a lot. And then we're gonna put in a tablespoon of sugar. And finally, this is rice wine vinegar. We're gonna put in 4 tablespoons of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. And when you go to sort it by the rice wine vinegar, you're going to see two different kinds. You're going to see seasoned and unseasoned. Unseasoned isn't as sweet as the seasoned. I like the seasoned. It works pretty good, even though we put the sugar in there. And what we do now is we're going to stir this around. And remember I said let it set, let it marinate? Let it marinate out of the refrigerator for at least an hour. So you can start this a little bit earlier. We're doing most of this in real time, so you can see how easy this is. Also in this thing, we're going to have tomatoes. Here's the tomato, right? Here's how I'm going to do the tomato. I'm going to cut it in half. So you want to get it in bite-sized pieces, right? So I cut it in 4, and then I cut these in half. Because you don't want people having big chunks of tomato in their mouth and they can't talk to you anymore, right? I mean, some people might be good. But anyhow, that's how I want to do that. I'm going to just use 2 tomatoes in this thing. So that's why it's called green bean and tomato salad. So here I got my 2 numbers of tomatoes there. We're going to use pine nuts to top it off. We're going to use a little feta cheese. We've got our dressing already made. I'm looking around at my beans. I'm going to take the beans out of this and into a towel bowl so we can dry them off. And when we come back, we're going to meet up with Natalie and have some beautiful green beans and tomato salad. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. How are you, Miss Natalie?
I am so ready.
I'm so ready.
Your professional taste tester is here. Let me tell you.
Oh boy.
Have I said today how much I love my job?
How much do you love your job?
As much as I love eating your food every Wednesday.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what, I think this is going to be okay today. So we got the beans in here.
Let's do it.
And I dried them off in a towel. So they're sort of, you don't want them in there, a bunch of leaky stuff, right? Oh, you know, another little thing I want to tell you. A lot of folks, when they make green beans like this, they would cut these in half or thirds.
Sure.
But I don't think it looks as great. It doesn't look as great, and then it just looks like, I don't know, a bowl of hash with the tomato. So I like them nice and long. And that way it looks better. And the reason we're putting it in like a 9 by 12 thing here is because we want a lot of the dressing to get on. So if we put this in a deep bowl, all the dressing go to the bottom, and it wouldn't be so much on the top.
Nope, and then you have to dig through all that at the bottom just to get to it. And
then you got those.
That's never fun.
You got those top flavored beans. Okay, so we got that there. This towel is going to clean us.
You're throwing my favorite ingredient in.
You know what?
He's dumping it on.
You know what's good about this is you can avoid them.
You can move them if you like.
That's right, baby.
But was it a firm? I didn't see. Were they pretty firm? They're pretty firm tomatoes.
I like everything like that. Okay, there we go. So we got that. So I made
Look how pretty it looks.
I made the dressing ahead of time yesterday in this.
So we're not using this one?
We don't have to use that one today.
Aw.
We can use that one at the picnic. Okay, I'm going to put that on here. Whoops! Did I get you?
David?
It was
you
close.
didn't.
Whew. Okay, I'll take this off now. Always trouble.
I know, I'm scolding you. Listen to me.
Always trouble.
You're going to be in trouble for that one.
Gall dang it. Okay, so then I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Now it's starting to look like something, isn't it?
That looks beautiful.
So I want to tell you folks, when you make this at home, you have to let this sit for about an hour. Let it sit out room temperature for about an hour and let those ingredients really get into it. I had some leftovers when I made this on Sunday, and I got a taste of it on Monday, and oh my, it was even better.
After it marinated in the juice a
and
little
the beans
bit.
still stay green. You know, we blanched them to keep them green so they look nice, right? Okay, so we got that on there.
That looks
pine
really
nuts.
pretty.
So I've got a third of a cup of pine nuts, which you almost have to put a mortgage on the house to buy pine nuts. So I'm using them today, but you can also use slivered almonds and toast them.
Okay.
So you got that. And then feta cheese. Now you can buy feta cheese already crumbled too, but when you buy feta cheese already crumbled, it's in these little tiny pieces and they fall all off. It's so easy to buy the big piece.
And crumble it yourself.
And just crumble it yourself. And then you got this nice looking stuff. What do you think of that?
Look at that.
So now,
You know me, I'm trying to be a little healthier now too.
Yeah.
This is right up my alley.
this looks like something you could take to somebody's house and be proud of too. And you know what? People that don't like green beans, they try this, or people who don't like tomatoes. Those people I don't like so much. But, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. It was you. I'm just kidding.
He still loves me.
I'm just kidding. Hey, we got over the Pittsburgh thing, didn't we?
I know, right?
We get over a couple.
You can get over tomatoes.
That's
I
right.
do like them. This is probably like, if I had to pick, this is probably my least favorite version of them. However, if you throw a little salt on there, I'm just being honest. People always, I'm being honest. You people want me to be honest, I'm being
That's right.
honest. However, the beans themselves with the crumbled cheese. I'm going to eat a tomato just for you. I'm going to show you.
Well, you know what? You know
I'm
what
gonna
else?
pick the one I
You know
wanna
what else
eat,
you can
though.
do to the tomato? I didn't want to do it because it's sort of like too gooey. But if you open up a big tomato like that and you cut it in half.
Yes.
You put your finger in the plate and take out those seeds in that part you don't like.
That's normally
Yeah.
the gross
Well,
part for me.
That's what you could do, but I didn't want to, gross you out. I know how it is around here.
It's just food. I'm acting like it's something terrible here.
Oh,
it's food.
Guess what I forgot to bring today? See if there's a fork in
Silverware?
that wooden box.
Now you asked for a fork this time, right? I'm not going to do what I did last week.
That's a fork, yep,
It's a fork, okay. Got one.
You got one? Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. Here's a nice little plate for you. Now, doesn't it look nice? It's sort of festive.
Look how pretty. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the green beans, and I'm going to do a tomato. And if I don't like it, it's going to be your fault. The tomato.
Well, maybe you could just do the beans and the cheese and try
Okay,
tomato
we'll do that.
after. Because I'm not going for that look. I'm going for the ooh look.
That is good.
Is it good?
That's really good. I really like it. Seriously? Listen, this is what happens when you're a professional taste tester, folks. You have to endure everything, including food on your face. Excuse me. I'm sorry. This is why you don't take close-ups.
I mint you. I really mint you.
They were going to leave. That's the sad part. They were all going to leave that up there on my face. You know that?
What about that one on your tooth?
Is there really?
No.
Darn it!
No, there's not.